Finally, today we return to the Wheat and Forage Field Day at Chickasha to learn about some promising new research on herbicide-resistant wheat varieties that could be in the hands of producers sooner rather than later.
We are at the South Central Research Station near Chickasha, Oklahoma, where we conduct annually plant breeding, wheat breeding trials for adaptation to Oklahoma in this part of the state. We have a wide swath of breeding material in this field. There's 2,700 plots of these rectangular plots that you see behind me. 2,700 of those, that covers about 30 different breeding trials. And some of those breeding trials are focused on herbicide-tolerant wheat. And we have two kinds of herbicide-tolerant wheat at this point. We have Clearfield, which we've had since the late 1990s, and now we have coaxium.
Basically, the coaxium trait gives us an opportunity to use a different mode of action of herbicide to go after those tough to get grasses like rye that's trying to get out of your wheat, possibly some other winter grasses.
Well, the impact of coaxium is going to be, it's going to stretch our genetics even farther than we have right now with Clearfield. It will stretch it in terms of the kinds of weeds that we'll be able to control, but it'll also stretch it in terms of genetics that we can introduce with that germplasm. And I'm really excited about it because, again, we need to control weeds in wheat. It's a very important part of wheat production. Weeds in our wheat causes unclean wheat, and our customers just do not like unclean wheat, and they won't pay for it. So we need to deliver the cleanest product possible to the elevator, and we're going to be able to do that a lot better with a herbicide-tolerant wheat.
The coaxium blocks that Brett talked about are special because we don't normally do seed increases the way we're doing these. These increases to make sure we have this new product out, the coaxium out in production earlier to get it to the grower earlier. We're actually increasing 21 of these experimental lines to start with. When we take our foundation seed production, if we only have a small amount, a couple hundred bushels to release to the seed producer, then by the time we release it to the seed producer in the fall, seed producer takes it, increases it, it may be 2 years before it actually gets to the grower that's going to be planting that certified seed as grain. It is a big chunk of time, and I can remember when I first came, there was several farmers would ask me, you know, they'd come to these field days and we might talk about the variety we released this year, and you have them come up to you, and that was when we were releasing it, we might have a couple hundred bushels. And so they haven't even seen the one we talked about 2 years ago. And so those farmers are like, you're already talking about new ones, and we still hadn't got the one that's 2 years old.
The way we're breeding coaxium wheat is not like we normally breed the rest of the program. And we are maximizing the speed at which we can go to develop to go from point A to point Z. Normally it takes 10 years. We're not going to take 10 years. We're already putting foundation seed production in place this year, which is quite amazing. We don't normally do that. Well, we want a coaxium wheat variety that can work across the state. My objective is to find adaptation that will stretch across the entire state of Oklahoma. And so we have to test in all parts of Oklahoma to make sure we have that adaptation. And that's why we're here. This is a very important part of wheat production in central Oklahoma. And this is also where we have a pretty high pressure from weeds, grassy weeds. So it's really a good place to conduct this kind of breeding work.